We've all been there. You meet someone new or someone you kind of know, and after the usual greetings and small talk, silence creeps in. Suddenly, you're stuck, scrambling for something, anything to say. You overthink it, panic a little, and then end up just sitting there, feeling the awkwardness settle in. I used to hate this. As someone who struggled with social anxiety, I knew that I needed to figure out a way to break out of these moments. Over time, I realized that running out of things to say wasn't about a lack of confidence. It was a skill issue. Just like learning an instrument or a sport, conversation is something you can practice and get better at. So, after years of trial and error, I found 3 key strategies that change the way I approach conversations. If you master these, you'll rarely find yourself stuck in awkward silence again. Active listening, the secret to endless conversation. What if I told you that even the simplest statement contains hidden conversation starters? People rarely give you the full context behind what they say. There are always details left unsaid. If you listen carefully, you'll start picking up on these gaps and naturally generate questions to keep the conversation flowing. For example, if someone says, "I went golfing over the weekend," you have 2 choices: nod and let the conversation die, or ask follow-up questions. Where do you usually play? How long have you been playing? Do you play competitively? Each of these leads to more responses, which means more opportunities to keep the discussion alive. The trick is to stop worrying about what you'll say next and actually listen. When you focus on the other person instead of yourself, you'll start noticing all the ways you can respond. As the saying goes, most people don't listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. Don't be that person. And here's the real benefit. When you practice active listening, you'll not only have more to say, but you'll also become someone people enjoy talking to. People love feeling heard. If you make them feel like what they say matters, they'll associate you with positive interactions and want to talk to you more. How to practice. Give your full attention. No checking your phone, no zoning out. Engage with body language. Nod, maintain eye contact, and show that you're following along. Ask clarifying questions. Encourage them to expand on their thoughts. Summarize or reflect back. Show you understand by rephrasing what they've said. Develop your interests. Be someone worth talking to. If you never do anything interesting, your conversations will feel flat. It's that simple. People who are engaging in conversation tend to have hobbies, interests, and experiences they can bring into discussions. That doesn't mean you need to become an expert in everything, but it helps to have a few things you genuinely enjoy and can talk about. Whether it's sports, hiking, psychology, or even a niche hobby, having interests gives you more to say and makes it easier to find common ground with others. You don't have to force it, just be curious and open to learning new things. Think about it. When was the last time you enjoyed talking to someone who had no opinions, no interests, and no stories to tell? Probably never. The best conversationalists aren't the ones who talk the most, but the ones who bring something valuable to the conversation. How to find interests. Try new things. Experiment with different hobbies until you find something you enjoy. Stay curious. Read, watch documentaries, or follow interesting topics. Learn from others. Ask people about their passions. You might find something new to explore. Ask stupid questions. The unexpected conversation. Some of the best conversations start with what might seem like a random or stupid question. The reality is, if you're genuinely curious and ask respectfully, no question is truly dumb. Sometimes, when a conversation starts feeling dry, I'll throw out an unexpected question like, "How tall are you?" Or, "Do you mow your own lawn?" It sounds ridiculous, but people usually enjoy talking about themselves, and questions like these often lead to interesting and fun tangents. But the trick is to follow up. If someone tells you their height, don't just say, "Cool." Ask them if they played basketball, if they've ever wished they were shorter or taller, or if they've ever met someone exactly their height. The key is curiosity. When you show genuine interest, conversations become effortless, fun, and unusual conversation. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? Have you ever had a paranormal experience? What's a weird fact about you that most people don't know? These types of questions make conversations more dynamic and engaging because they break people out of autopilot responses. No one wants to answer, "So, what do you do for work?" for the 100th time. The harsh truth. Sometimes, it's just not meant to be. No matter how good you get at conversation, there will be times when nothing works. Some people just aren't great conversationalists, and sometimes they're simply not interested in talking, and that's okay. Learning to recognize when to let a conversation go is just as important as knowing how to keep one going. If someone isn't engaging or you're not clicking, don't force it. Not every interaction needs to be a deep, flowing conversation. Accept the silence and move on. Here's how you know it's time to move on. They're giving short, uninterested responses. They keep checking their phone or looking around. You're doing all the work and they're not reciprocating. If that's the case, don't take it personally. Maybe they're having a bad day or they're just not in the mood to talk. Either way, it's not a reflection on you. If you focus on truly listening, develop your own interests, and don't shy away from asking unexpected questions, you'll rarely run out of things to say. And if you do, just remember, it's not the end of the world. So go out there, practice these strategies, and enjoy more engaging conversations. And if you want to dive deeper into active listening, check out my other content. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing. That would be awesome.